Welcome to the Two-Wheeled Rider YouTube channel. My name is Mario Orsini, and in today's video, I'm going to break down how I go about organizing all of my video files when I'm out on my big motorcycle trips, and how I back them all up at the end of each day, and kind of show you my workflow and organization, which, let's just get into it. Alright, so if we take a look here, I'm working on my iMac right now. I have a hard drive here called Holding Drive. This is one of the ones I take with me when I'm traveling. I'll touch on that in a moment. I also have another one called Holding 2, which is my secondary holding hard drive. I'll explain what this means in just a moment. Also, just so you know, I have one called Video Backups, and then I also have one called 2WR Working. I'll explain what all this means and why they're all labeled, but let me start to screen share and show you some of what I got on my computer. Alright, so right now I'm in a hard drive called Historical Backups 1. There's also a Historical Backups 2, and they're basically exactly the same. Everything's just backed up. What normally ends up happening is here on Holding Drive or Holding Drive 2, I will create a folder, and you can see I have this trip here, Alaska 1 through 19, and I create a folder for each day, and at the end of each day, I drag all of my files in so they're all saved over here. And you can see, you know, I use all sorts of different files, whether it's, you know, like these are drone files right here. I have GoPro files, I have regular camera files. Everything gets drug in. If I took photos, that gets drug in as well. It just kind of depends on the day as to what it is I shot that day. And I back that up to my holding drive, and then I drag everything over into my secondary holding drive because I have had drives fail on motorcycle trips before, and when that happens, I go out and buy another drive. They're not that expensive. That way everything's backed up twice, and then I clear out my memory cards. Speaking of memory cards, obviously I do this on my MacBook Pro. I don't take my iMac with me. I always insert the memory card directly into the computer. I never plug the camera in. It's just a faster transfer rate, but you can do it however you want to do it. But anyway, everything gets backed up to the holding drive. I'm just showing you the historical drive so you can see what it looks like, because once it goes onto the holding drive, you can see all the holding drive stuff I have on here right now. These are all going to get deleted off soon because I've finished all of these videos. But they go on the holding drive, and that just means this footage is waiting to be worked on. And then I showed you the 2WR working drive, and if we go over here, I work on a Mac, I work on Final Cut Pro, but I can open this up and show you what's inside. These are all the files that I'm currently working on. Again, some of these are already done. You know, I'm working on the filming one. So it has all the files I'm currently working on. Once all those files, or once those videos are finished, then we come over here to video backups. These are only completed projects. Now there is some random stuff in here, but for the most part, everything's held under the Two-Wheeled Rider channel folder, and then I Back in the Garage, C70, Dirt Bike, FJR, just a bunch of different things. But if we come here under trip videos, what I used to do is just dump everything in here by name. What I've started doing recently, I have 2018 Alaska trip, so you can see all the final videos right here, all saved under their day. I have the Fall Wild and Wonderful Weekend trip, videos 1 through 3, the Kentucky trip, videos 1 through 4. I don't know what this copy one is, but whatever, I'll figure that out later. And they all get saved to the Video Backups hard drive. So in addition to them being on YouTube, they're saved on an external. And then I think it's on Video Backups too. I do have an additional folder, and that hard drive's not plugged in right now. And that's where all of the backups to the backups are saved. So I have everything saved at least twice. These historical things are not the finished project. They are the all the raw files. So you can see I have all the race team stuff here. I have the I did that pressure washer video. I basically just want to be able to access everything. Now, most people, what they're going to do at this point, once you've rendered the final file, and in my case on the video backups, you're going to delete all the footage. However, I want to, wow, that's a great picture right there. However, I want to be able to go back and access, you know, clips if I'm talking about something, whatever. So I back up everything at least twice, but that's kind of my workflow on how I save things. Now, if I'm working off this holding drive right now, and let's say I wanted to work on Kristen's trip, which that looks a little funky the way it is right now, or the 2019 moto vlog. What I do is I come over here to Final Cut, which is what I work in. That video's already been made. So 2019 moto vlog, I'll go ahead and go up here to File, New, New Event, name it whatever I'm going to name it. And then I drag this entire folder over into here so I have all the files, and then I can start working on it. And at that point, I create the project, which in this case was called 2019 moto vlog. So if I double click on that, you can see I have all the clips and stuff inputted here on the video you guys probably watched, I don't know, 3-4 weeks ago at this point. So anyway, that's my setup. But again, at the end of each day, you go into your holding drive, whatever you want to call it. I just name mine things so I know what they are, and then obviously I put the labels on there so I don't get them confused. And I also have little name tag things on the cables too. When you shoot as much footage as what I do, you need to keep it organized. So again, if we come over here to historical so you can see what it looks like again, call it whatever you want to call it. But you know, I was on my Alaska trip, so it was just days 1 through 19. Drag all your footage in there. It's all backed up. You can delete it off your memory card so you have full use of that memory card again the next day, and you're good to go. Now, if you're going on a 1 or 2 day trip, you probably don't need to take a laptop. You don't need to take externals. You'll probably be fine with just leaving the footage on the memory card and then coming home and maybe doing something, you know, like I've done with these holding drives, working drives, and then final video backups. All right, guys, so that's pretty much the way I organize all my files and kind of my process of how I back everything up. Some of you may look at that and think that's overkill, and that's fair. But when you edit and shoot well over 100 videos a year, I need a way to organize things, organize my hard drives, organize my file folders, all that stuff so I can find it. And then, yeah, I like to back every single clip I've ever shot up in case I ever need to go back and grab anything. But hopefully at least you got some ideas of ways you can organize your own files. I would at least suggest getting at least one external hard drive to at least back up your final projects and maybe have a little bit of extra storage space to store your files while you're working on them. And I will link the external hard drives I use down in the description below. If you have any questions about those, obviously let me know. So anyway, the hard drives you're watching on screen right now are only a handful of the ones I actually have. There's some sitting over here on the desk and some in the drawer, and they're all over the place. But anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed today's video. If you did, please be sure to give it a big thumbs up. If you're not a subscriber, consider hitting that subscribe button. While this is a video series about making videos, I promise, if you like motorcycles, this is the place to be. If you have any additional questions about organizing things or anything I went over in tonight's video, be sure to let me know those down in the comment section below, and I will do my best to try to answer them. And as always, I'll talk to you again soon.